Hi, Chad. How's it going, mate?
All good, you well?
Yeah, not bad. It's blooming freezing though, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about that. But we are going to be inside the car soon, so we'll warm up eventually.
So what are we learning here today at Bruntingthorpe? What's the plan?
So today we're in my Renault Clio 197, so it's got 200 horsepower, it's front wheel drive, we're on Michelin Pilot Sport road tyres, and basically we're just going to be teaching you to push the car to the limit, read what the car's doing, make sure that you're not doing anything too sharp behind the wheel, and basically just fine-tuning your driving to make sure you get the most out of whatever you're racing in the future.
So last time I was in a race car, I showed you the video briefly just before we came and did this. I had a little bit of a crash, a bit of a touch with the barrier. That's not the plan today. So what do you think went wrong there? How are we going? Is my training here going to hopefully help me avoid that in the future?
So just from lack of experience, basically, obviously during your video, it looks like you had a bit of oversteer, you had a massive correction with it being front wheel drive, whether you got on the power or not, but of course it darted it or pointed it in the wrong direction, then sadly there was the contact with the barrier. Today, I'm going to be going through all the processes of weight transfer, so when you brake, what to expect when you accelerate, if you do get oversteer or understeer, and how to correct all of these without panicking and making that mistake again.
That's the plan then. Let's hopefully see that it gets put into action.
Looking forward to it. We're going to talk about seating position. Basically, how do you feel now? Do you need to go forwards or backwards?
I don't feel too bad, to be fair. I mean, how tall are you?
We're quite similar sizes. I'm 174 centimetres.
177.
Okay, yeah, so that's close enough. Yeah, you've got about 3 centimetres more hair than I am.
Yeah.
So,
that's probably true.
So seating position's important because obviously when you're racing or going around a track with the G-forces that we're pulling, you're going to find that you're going to be moving around in the seat. If you're too far away from the steering wheel, what you'll find is when you do get to top dead centre with the wheel, you'll end up pulling yourself out the seat.
I had that was exactly the problem I had in this rallycross thing, is I was too far away in the seat.
And you'll see when you watch the F1 or the rally boys, they're on the steering wheel almost, and that's so that they can get full lock, and if they have to, they can release one hand if they've got that much steering on. We'll have to do that here at turn 3. As we go through the hairpin, we'll have to release one hand, and then obviously when you go back to centre, you'll be fairly close. Obviously you don't want to be too close that it feels completely alien and unnatural to you, but a good way for doing this is basically, can you get both of your wrists to the top of the steering wheel? So I think you're pulling yourself away from the seat a little bit there. So I think either the steering wheel needs to come a little closer or the whole seat just needs to go one click forward.
Well, let's try one click forward on the seat, shall we? Just like that.
So you won't drive.
You won't drive like that, no.
Straight, but that just gives you a bit of an indication of when you're racing. And generally, when I'm in the race car, in fact, I might be even a little bit closer than what we are here. We're going to be in the car, obviously, all day. So, and I know now that there's one click difference between my seating position and yours. So that's easy for when we're going to be doing the driver change. It's the same when we race. Like in the Mercedes, we've got the adjustable pedals and the adjustable steering wheel. The seat is static, it doesn't move at all. Sometimes we'll have a seat insert to put in for some of the shorter guys like myself, because I've raced against people that are 2 meters, or with people that are 2 meters tall, and of course I'm fully extended like that, so I generally end up with a little booster seat. So seating positions, the first thing, and then obviously we're using a manual gearbox today, so a little bit back to basics compared to obviously the flappy paddles that we have these days, but we don't need to hill and tow in this. We can get away with it being front wheel drive, because we're not on the racetrack. We can get away with it a little bit just by bringing the clutch out a little bit slower. If it's rear wheel drive, then I'd recommend a little bit of hill and tow, but we don't need to worry about that today. We can just concentrate on the weight transfer and reading what the car's doing and what the track conditions are like. Any questions? How?
No, I think
feeling good.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, just need to go out and see what the sort of base performance is, and hopefully we can work from that, and probably
we'll get you in the system and then off we go.
Good stuff. What do you need?
Hold on, there's one thing.
Oh, for God's sake.
We are just heading out onto Bruntingthorpe, or the layout that I use for training all of my customers and drivers. as you can see, we've put cones all the way around the track, and so these create gates that we're going to be going through. The rules are every cone you hit, you owe me a £5, right?
Okay.
Every cone I hit is 15 quid to you. Okay?
Right, okay.
Deal?
Fair enough. Jake on that, yeah, that'll do for me.
This section here is basically going to be the start of our lap. That cone on our right hand side, there's an invisible line there, and that is our starting point.
Right.
So this is already red, so this has already started recording over 40 kilometers an hour. Whilst on the track, we're not going to be going too wide here because we're going to be basically braking for our first major braking zone, turn 2, during that tarmac cow patch there. Mm-hmm. And then we are going to be trailing off the brake as we want to start to get the car to turn in. We're going to stay to the right as far as possible, and we're going to give it as late an apex as we can get away with through this hairpin. So we're going to trail brake all the way through there, and then we're going to be opening up the steering as well as getting on the power. It's not possible to do it flat all the way through there, so we're going to have to either have a short shift or we're going to have a little lift off the throttle. Back onto our second straight now, and we're going to be heading towards the cone. We're going to be braking around the cone that we have set out here. We're going to be hitting the brakes pretty hard, down a gear. We're going to be turning in. We're going to go around the barrier. Don't go down the pothole, otherwise I will be charging you for a new set of alloys. It's probably the only corner where we can do a little bit of damage. Just as we drop down, it sometimes spins the wheel.
That's tempting fate there, right there.
And then we're going to be going all the way down this barrier, down the white line, have a little flick through here, just a very short lift, back on the pound, then it's going to slingshot us down the back straight. This is going to be the fastest part of the track, and we're going to go into this half lane with the left hand side of the car. This is going to set us up for our braking point for into the back straight chicane. So we're going to be hitting the brakes around the tarmac change there, down 1 gear, down 2 gears, so we're now in 3rd, release the brake, head around this cone section, make our way over to the left hand side. We're going to have a lift on the power here. This is going to allow us to rotate the car, and then we'll start to accelerate before we have one more final lift. The weight will go to the front of the car. This will help us rotate the car using the weight transfer, and then we can go again. Let's go for a quicker lap. So start to finish line, we're going to be flat through turn 1. I'm not going to rev it all the way to the maximum rev. It revs to about 7,500 this thing. So we're going to be hard on the brakes, down a gear again into 2nd, release that brake. That's what allows the car to turn. We're going to sacrifice, we're going to have to come off the power a little bit here, otherwise we pick a wheel spin like that. If it's slipping, it's not gripping and it's not pulling us forwards, so we have to have a little lift just to make sure we don't break the grip. We're going to be aiming roughly for the cone, so it's going to be a hard hit, down the gears, off the brake, get it turned to the left, head to the right, use the curve, flat through here. We're going to be out to the outside, we're going to be going down this barrier, and I've hit a cone again.
Yeah, 15 quid already.
So it's flat down here, 5th gear, we're at 100 mile an hour now. We're going to be looking at our braking point just before the cone, down a gear, release the brakes, get it turned, a little dab on the brake again, cone is clear, that's good, a little lift, that just helps us rotate the car. We're going to aim for this cone here, and then that lift there helps rotate the car again, and back to full power, and that is 1 lap complete of Bruntingthorpe Short.
Oh, slip the clutch, love it.
So we'll be going around the barrier, over to my side into lane 1, back across to the curb, a little bit of curb through here, so up again. So when you drive, I want nice smooth hands. I don't want to feel any major weight transfer. Of course, any of this is what's going to upset the car. If you just suddenly stab the wheel, you get that sudden shock. That's not good. Whenever you start to turn, you'll start to feed it, and then you'll ask for a little bit of extra steering. So we'll just head down here. On the brakes, down to 4th, down to 3rd, chicane, get it turned.
Oh, that wasn't so nice.
That's okay, don't worry about it. Over through the gate. We're going to sort of aim for where that final cone is. We're going to reach around, and when we lift, this is what's going to help us turn the car.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep going through here, up a gear.
Oh, nice.
Don't worry about it, it's not your car. So we're going to start on the brakes now. Down again. Down to second. Get it rotated through here.
Adam took me out in the car earlier on this morning for my first run. We did a few reconnaissance laps, got used to the layout that he's put here at the circuit, so that went out quite nicely. He enjoyed that, and then he said, right, we're going to go fast for a lap, and he went pretty quick, I'm not going to lie to you. It kind of caught me off guard really, more than anything, just how fast he was going. And I think the thing that stood out for me more than anything wasn't necessarily the speed as such, because you're only getting up to 110 miles an hour or so on the back straight, but it was just the ferocity of which he was touching the brakes and the finesse that he had there as well.
Why did I do that?
Oh, he's had a shocker. And I was sat there thinking, well, I'm never going to be able to match that. But anyway, I went out, did my first few laps, and didn't do too badly, I don't think. You know, got into the groove relatively easily. Lines left a bit to be desired. And the thing is that I've struggled with is it's just a case of understanding how the car needs to be balanced and that weight transfer. You know, it's a case of when you brake, obviously the weight's over the front. When you lift off, it's going to be over the rear. And initially I was braking really hard and then lifting off, and then obviously the weight transfer has gone from the front, so the tyres have got no grip, they've got no give. I seem to have sort of sorted that out a little bit more now, seem to be a bit more consistent. Got my lap time down mid-morning to a 1 minute 23.6. Adam's fastest time today was a 1:21.7. So a couple of seconds off of his time, but he wasn't really pushing over the course of that lap. Just before lunch, again, went out. We've done quite a few sessions just sort of doing driver changes, and he said, right, go in here, do this. And we've gone through the pros and the cons of everything that I've been doing well and not so well on the track. And I actually said a lap time that was about half a second or so faster than my previous best, so I was quite happy with that.
That was a good lap, that was a good lap.
Anyway, the next lap, after that, I was looking really, really confident, and I was feeling good as well. Got the first corner sorted out, which has been my Achilles heel going into that hairpin. Everything was looking pretty good out there. But then I clipped a couple of cones, and that kind of set the tone. I think I did 5 cones over the course of one lap.
It's going pretty well, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, too early.
Oh.
Ah, oh no! Oh no!
We've annihilated the cone!
It's a fast lap though. Okay, right, cool down. We need to go repair the track.
Yeah, we do. I think I owe Adam about 25, 30 quid now. So I'm also bankrupt, but it's been a good learning experience. So the main thing I need to do this afternoon is just build on that confidence that I've got and feeling with the car, and hopefully we can bring that lap time down. I reckon if we can get that down to a mid-22, take another second or so off of it, which I don't think is going to be that hard, I'll be really happy with that. But let's see what we can do, and hope that we can make some more progress later on this afternoon. finished up today here at Bruntingthorpe. I mean, it's been a challenging day, it's been a learning day. What do you think we can take away from today?
Well, you put me on the spot there. So, today's been great. So, of course, we came here with a plan to see exactly how you drive and how we can improve on your baseline, and we've been able to work on that. And of course, at the end of the day, you're even noticing your own mistakes. And so, of course, if we went into a corner a little bit too slow or too fast, you said before, I'd even say, I've messed that up, and you already knew what to do on the next lap. And so we've been working on the braking points today, the weight transfer, and in the end, the last few sessions we've been putting in some really good times, and we've been a lot more consistent towards the end compared to this morning as well.
So what do you think? We've improved times by about 4.5 seconds from this morning to this afternoon, which is quite a decent sort of gap to make up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a huge difference. From this morning to this afternoon, you're a different driver. So as you said, there's been a 4-second difference from session 2 until the end, and again, just the consistency's been there, which is exactly what you want for racing. Of course, if you make a mistake, it's about how fast you can recover and making sure that you don't make that mistake again and again. So in the end, I think we've completed about 120 laps today, which is pretty good going. And of course, we're back in the car soon, and we're going to be doing many more. So at the moment, the most important thing for you is bumming seat time, and this is what the day is about. And of course, we'll go into our first proper track soon, and it's going to be interesting to see what you got around a bigger circle.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, isn't it? So based on what we've learned here today, how is that going to apply when we go to a bigger, proper, quote, track?
So everything I teach today is what you're going to take with you for the rest of your racing career, basically. And so again, just with the trail braking and with making sure that you get the car turned before you get on the power, it's these kind of things that you're going to be using in every situation whilst on track against other cars. And the perfect thing about today is, of course, there's no one else here, so we can just do lap after lap. And the amount of times that we stopped, it's like, right, okay, let's do a quick driver change. I want to just show you something quickly, and then do whatever I needed to do, whatever exercise it was at that point in time. And then of course you jumped in and you were able to mimic that, which was great.
Yeah, well, aside from the damage we've caused on the car today from the cones, I think we've been all good, isn't it?
No, it's been brilliant, and as I said, it's about learning, and that's what today's about. And at the end of the day, okay, we've just scuffed a little bit on the side, so we just need a new sill and maybe a little bit of a polish, and we'll be good to go.
Let's send me the invoice later, right? Nice one, Ed. Thanks very much for today, mate.
Welcome. Cheers. I don't know why I'm walking off.
Well, it has been a really exciting day here at Bruntingthorpe. Really great to learn loads of different things, and of course the main aim of that is to put it in practice next time we're out on the big racetrack. It's been really exciting to start the day, find out my base level, and as Adam was saying as well, move forwards and progress up in terms of times and in terms of quality of driving as well. So it's going to be exciting to see how that comes into play next time we get out on a racetrack. So huge thank you to Adam for his Clio. Sorry about denting it, by the way. And let's see what we can do next time we're out on the racetrack in the next part of this series.
You animal.
Cone destroyer.
It's going to cost you for me to keep silent.
Name your price.
I think we need some more cameras.
Yeah? We've got quite a few. I think we're all sorted.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.